Hello, movie fans. We're the movie family. We're here to talk about the new Jumanji movie, Jumanji: The Next Level, the sequel to Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which we all thought was really a really great movie, really funny, and so we went out to see the sequel that just came out this weekend. So these are our thoughts about Jumanji. We'll do a non-spoiler review, and hopefully you'll be interested to go out and see it. My name's TJ.
I'm Rachel.
And
I'm Ryan.
I'm Tara.
I'm Tommy.
We do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and also sometimes movie games.
And TV show reviews.
And TV show reviews if it's The Mandalorian. So if you like any of that, if you like this review, please feel free to like and subscribe and leave some comments down below. So the new movie, Jumanji: The Next Level. Let's start. We haven't done this in a while, but let's start with adjectives only. Any adjectives related to Jumanji: The Next Level? I'd say it was fun, exciting at points, a little sequel-y.
Game-y.
Yeah.
Could be a little intense, but funny.
Mm-hmm. Good. Other adjectives?
Funny.
It was comedic. It was thrilling. It was exciting and fun.
I'd say fun, exciting, funny. Yeah.
All right, and this is our non-spoiler review. So, what did you like, I guess, most about the movie?
I liked that it was funny and that it didn't. Well, if it did have dull moments, they were always still. There was always interesting moments. They were always there to balance it out, and make it really good.
Yeah. I like the story in terms of the characters that were in it. Again, they bring back no spoiler here. It's just they bring back some of the old characters. It's a sequel, and then I like the addition of some of the new characters and what they did with them. I'll talk about the things I didn't like about it later, but I definitely think they did a good job in making it a sequel and keep the same kind of tropes and ideas from the first movie. And it was funny. There was definitely moments that I definitely laughed out loud. Not all the time, not as much as the first movie, but I thought there was a good amount of humor in it, and it was exciting at moments. Some of the things that they did that were much more like a video game, like different puzzles and things like that, I thought was a cool, again, addition to what a typical video game is like.
I liked it better towards the last. I'm not sure if it was half. I'd say probably the last third of the movie when something happened that changed some dynamics.
Yeah, I liked the last third of the movie too. And also when other characters started to be brought in, that was fun. And I felt like the last third of the movie had the same dynamic as the first movie. I mean, I felt like the whole thing had sort of the same dynamic as the first movie, but the last third just felt more like the first movie, and it was better for doing that.
I thought that it was pretty good with because obviously one of the main things is that the game's broken, so that the old people, the grandparents, are they're in the game now. And I thought that they had funny comedy too, but also that Fridge was Jack Black. I thought they still did that character well, because he was still funny, because he didn't want to be the map guy. So that was still fun.
So what did you like least about the movie?
I thought it relied a little too much on jokes that got old too quickly. There were a lot of parts that there were people in our theater that laughed out loud at them that I found a little bit more groan worthy than laugh worthy. Like the Rock as Danny DeVito saying, what's that? It just got old quickly.
Yeah. There were some jokes that I think were funny in the beginning that then they dragged out too far, and again the characters were just not. At the beginning of the movie were not as good as when they had the change at the end of the movie, which was better. And so I felt like that enjoyed more. It was definitely a good. It was good in general, but not as good as the first one, and not as funny as the first one, not as unexpected, which is always a problem with the sequel, I guess.
I thought that the beginning lasted a little too long. Like when it was just the old men talking, I didn't really care about the old men talking, or
Before
really
they die.
understand Spencer or the whole friend group, because I like them better when they're in Jumanji.
Yeah, before they got into Jumanji again. Yeah, it was.
Like, we're at a
That
cafe.
really dragged.
There was a lot of build up. Like I was like, they could have cut out 90% of that and been like, like they're back in the game.
I mean, having Milo and Eddie, I mean, that went on for a little too long, but you still need to have it set up, because that's one of the things about them, is that they need to, like, mend their friendship.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just I think they could have done it quicker, and still it doesn't take a ton.
Yeah,
of
because they didn't really give you any information on what actually happened.
Right.
You're right. It just explains that they don't like each other, so they could have put a little more in there, or taken out some, put a little more actually like
specific
stuff.
Yeah.
So something I both liked and didn't like. I thought that Kevin Hart did a really good job of channeling Danny Glover.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. I thought that Jack Black was funny in his character, but I think what made him funny relied a little too much on stereotypes. That was that was
iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, iffy. It was funny, and I don't think he crossed the line, but it was a little iffy versus the first one where he was like the teenage girl. Anything else about the movie before we give it our overall rating?
It was just like a small thing that bugged me is that they were like, this is the next level, and then they also referred to multiple different things as the next level, and the movie's called The Next Level, so I'm not really sure which one they mean, but there were some well animated, interesting moments. They have lasted a little longer than they needed to, but they were still cool.
It's more of a stage when you think about
it. Exactly.
Level is used because in normal, I guess, it'd be like, it's the next stage of it, so there's different subsections they need to go to of each level.
Yeah.
Like the first one, because they have the forest, and then they have the garage thing, and it's like that, but this is just another stage in, like, kind of just a different plot. It's like it's a sequel.
Yeah, I think, the next level, they were trying to get to a unique sequel.
Sounds
name.
better than stage.
Right, but I agree. It was a little confusing, and they just kind of used it however they wanted to use it. And so speaking of just kind of the cool things, there was some cool, I think, CGI in it, and some intense moments and things. Family appropriateness.
I don't think it's really scary in most of its parts.
I thought there was like one part that was pretty intense.
One scene when they're being chased, I believe. A couple scenes where they're being chased, actually, I think, are a
trailer
little
shot?
intense.
One of them terrified me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, again, not giving away anything if people haven't seen the trailer, but it's just like, there are some intense moments, I think, if you're really a tiny, I think, below a grade schooler, that could be pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean...
Even some elementary school
you've
kids.
seen the main shot for the trailer, you know what we're talking about, but it's just... it could be intense. Yeah. Definitely. Because
there's a couple...
a lot of action there.
Yeah, there's a couple swears.
Yeah, there's
minor,
language.
But there's a little bit of language. There's a little bit of an inappropriate talk in an elevator at one point that was
Which was totally unnecessary for the movie.
They should have cut that out. It was just unnecessary and made it, again, not as appropriate as it could be for younger kids. And I was like, why would you... Well, it could go over younger kids' heads for sure. Like little kids' heads, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just one of those things that I think if you're sensitive to that, like language or some inappropriate discussions and intense,
anatomy,
intense chase scenes and stuff, and again, like the first one, no spoilers here, their video game characters can die and then come back. And so a couple times they die in pretty dramatic ways, and then they come back.
But it's always like a dust explosion. It's never like, oh, hey, they got stabbed in the head. It's like they kind of someone threw like a knife at them, and now they just poof.
Yeah.
Also, there was, I'm gonna say vaguely, there was one point where they all died for pretty much no reason. Yeah. Like, it just to drop their life counts, and it didn't really make sense to me.
For the story.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah. It was just, right, exactly. It was unnecessary. They just wanted to make it all more high stakes for everybody.
Yeah.
Then they had the one life left. Yeah, exactly. Sequel problem, but yeah, anyways. So that's, the information related to family appropriateness if you're thinking about seeing it for the holiday season, if you got a break. And so your overall rating for Jumanji: The Next Level
4.5
out of
snakes out of 5 snakes.
okay.
3.5. I enjoyed it, but not as much as the first one.
Yeah, I'd say 3.75 out
You guys all
of.
really enjoyed the first one.
I know
did,
that's
I
why.
did.
That's why this one is by comparison paled a little bit. But
I put like a 4 to 4.25 because I thought this one had more action set piece. Like I like the action better than the first one, but the characters being different didn't exactly let them do that
Mhm.
as well
I
as
think
it did in the first one.
and I don't think it was funny for some parts of it too.
I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, so there you go. So if you really like the first one, you may may make you like this one more or less, I guess, maybe, and may want to go see it and maybe not be as impressed by it. But if you do go see it, please leave your comments down below. And now it's time for Ryan's bad joke of the day.
Why was the archaeologist depressed?
Why?
Because his career was in ruins.
Okay. I laughed more. I laughed more because
Why?
Rachel mouthed the answer at the same time. But that was good not to actually just blurt it out.
Yeah, I
So-
guess you're making progress right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like
That's
it relates to
better
the
than
movie a
what's
little bit this
on.
time, at least like that. Like it's a little bit of an
Well,
adventure.
I was gonna have a better hat, but someone did want to have a good
Okay.
hat.
Oh,
All right, so if you like this review, again, remember to hit like and subscribe. We've got other videos that we've done for reviews and trailer reactions and stuff. We're going to put those up above. And then we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.